Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening or good morning, wherever you may be. This is our SBC Founders Meeting taking place every Wednesday when it's exactly 6 p.m. West African time. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of March, 2025, and we are gathering here again to discuss some of our happenings in the community. I want to say a special hello to all the leaders that are here, all those that are pushing very, very hard to see that we arrived in our desired destination. We have updates coming up from the admin, and all you need to do is to stay muted as he'll be coming up to give us some of the happenings in our community. Greetings to you, Admin Scott. How are you doing today? All right, so Admin Scott, need to unmute.
This is acting really weird today. But thank you, Mbe. Here I am, and yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. All right. So we do have a couple of updates to go through. I don't have a lot for us today. I do want to open it up to maybe a little bit of Q&A here to keep it brief. But let's go ahead and get into the details, and I'll share my screen real quick here, and then we'll recap what's going on, and then we'll jump into a little bit of Q&A.
Yeah.
All right. Just waiting for it to come in. Okay, so taking a look at our membership count, there has been a couple hundred drops since last week. I really hope that the message is getting out to our membership that we are about to take a very, very big leap into our future. That is with the educational process, and that starts in just under 2 weeks. Well, I guess maybe just a little over. No, it's under 2 weeks. So in let's see, 11, 12, 13 days or so, 12 days, we are going to be starting the educational process, and our esteemed educators will be receiving their first details this coming Monday, and they will prepare their presentation in 5 different languages at this time, and then they will be creating, content for our educational process. And each class or each week, each session is an absolute requirement for each member to have access to the SBC private fund and to learn about history of SBC, history of cryptocurrencies, history of um, all sorts of things that are relevant to our community. And I want to make sure that we fully understand that this is part of we're starting this process early because we're starting to get some traction with our private structure. So I have a meeting early in April with our sponsors. I'm going to be traveling, and I'm going to be meeting with them, and then we're going to start discussing the preliminary steps to creating our private structure, what that entails. A part of that education that I receive will be passed along into the education that you receive, and you'll know what your standing is. You'll know how to access the fund. You'll know how to utilize the fund when the fund becomes available, and you'll know how to keep your own personal property finances and whatnot safe from the elites and the governments and things of that nature. So we're going to be working on all of those as a part of our education package. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to start that early so that we are able to effectively enter into the fund without any more further delays. I do want to remind everybody that 10,000 members, 10,000 active members it's still required. So the fund is not going to happen at 7,000 members. The fund isn't going to happen at 8,000 members, and the fund isn't going to happen at 9,999 members. It will happen when there are 10,000 active members, and those members need to be a part of our education process. So there are exceptions to the education process, young children and those who are unable to read, but we will find ways to make sure that they are properly incorporated. And specifically, if children or young adults or whatever are going to be a part of our community, part of the access to the fund, they have to have a responsible family member or guardian to usher them in along with them. So a lot of those things are going to be happening over the next 6 months as we accelerate towards the private fund. And I wanted to go over the current Goodwill program. So without any further ado, I'm going to go into the blog and I want to review the Goodwill program that's going on. And I want everyone that is specifically on this call, I want everyone to understand that I am not the organizer of the Goodwill program. There's been a lot of members coming to me on Telegram asking for directions, and I send them the link to the blog. We definitely have a communication breakdown in our community, and I understand that a lot of that is due to I only speak English. I understand a little bit of French, but I only speak English. We have various languages in India. We have different languages across our entire community. And even though we're only addressing 5 at this time, we do plan to expand to be able to service um, other um, other languages within other countries. And I understand that there are several languages even in South Africa or in Africa that require translation. It's not just all French speaking. So there are a lot of hurdles that we need to jump over as far as getting our message out. But our community at one time was over 75,000 active members. So there is definitely some communication out there that we want to revisit and we want to reestablish. Okay, so going into the Goodwill program, there is a video, and I encourage each and every one of you to watch that video and go through it. The Goodwill program is a support-based system originally designed to restore inactive members to the SBC community. It's intended to be a strong motivation for specifically those accounts that have expired between 2016 up to February 10th. However, with the latest considerations by admin at $10, we found it reasonable to allow brand new and unpaid members to join the Goodwill program also. So how this works, everyone who joins the Goodwill program is required to donate $10 only and not any more than that. The funds are paid into a special wallet and made available to the administration for this purpose. Participants of the Goodwill program are broken into 3 batches, 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 members. And the figures here are for illustration, but the actual figure on the first batch must equal or greater than the number of members left to complete the 10,000 requirement. So at that time, it is just a little under 3,000 members. I know that a lot of our members they might have expired prior to um, February 11th. I think that's the date. It's the date, February 10th. So members who have expired before February 10th and want to participate in the Goodwill program, that's wonderful. But understand, regardless of this Goodwill program, regardless of how this works, you are missing out on rewards. So make sure that if your account did expire recently, that you stay active, because on April 7th, and this whole process right here, everyone who's going to be who's going to be activated in the Goodwill program is going to be activated on the 4th of April. And after that time, you'll be responsible to get yourself active. If you're not a part of the Goodwill program at that time, you're going to be responsible to get yourself active for the month of April, because you're going to want to participate in the education process. And remember, as I said, each session is you must attend each session. It's just like when you go to school. You go to school for 12 years, sometimes 13. You sometimes can skip a grade, but you're not going to skip from first grade to 12th grade. So anyone in our community that thinks, oh, well, I don't have to participate in that education, I already know all of it. Well, that's great, but you still have to participate in it. You still have to, you might not need to view the videos, but you still got to take the quiz. And when you take the quiz, if you get the quiz wrong, you're going to have to take it again. So this will be very interesting to see how our members know the education and know the history of SBC. And another reason why I'm being so animate about the education process is that there is so many of our members who really don't know what's going on. I get telegram messages from a member. It's like, hey, well, what's SBC? What are the rewards? It's like, wow. I mean, what rock did you come out from under that you don't know what the SBC rewards are? And then I wonder to myself, how did you find our group on Telegram, and how did you even find the link to me on Telegram if you don't know what the rewards are? So there's a knowledge gap in our community that is very, very concerning, especially when we're going into access to this private fund. This isn't just free money that's being given away and shuffled out at you. This is not what that is. This is money that you are entitled to because of your participation in our community. You are entitled to that because of your knowledge and understanding of where that money has legal standing. So those are very important things that you'll learn through this education process, and it's going to be very eye-opening for a lot of our members. It might even be eye-opening for even myself, because I don't know all of the details of the private structure. I know that there are things you can do and things you can't do. And there's reasons why you can't do them. And one would be because it would cross over into public domain. And once you cross over into public domain, you then become susceptible to anything, any type of action by the public. So everything that we're doing remains private. And I've had two members come to me in the last week asking, well, what about taxes? And I say, well, simply, you are in a private society, you are in a private community, it's a private fund. It's not public, and it's not public funds, so it cannot be taxed. If you utilize the funds in a way that crosses over into the public domain, and if that happens, then it is taxed. But in all of our activities and in how you use the fund, you will not be taxed on it. You'll be only taxed on what you do in the public, and you'll be very, very clear to know what you can do and what you can't do and what you shouldn't do. But you can technically do it, but you shouldn't do it to avoid crossing into that boundary. But back to the Goodwill program. Participants of the Goodwill program are broken into three batches. We talked about that. And we are 3,000 members, little under 3,000 members away from the 10,000 requirement. But this Goodwill program that is gonna hopefully get us very close to that. So all funds gathered from the batches put together equals $60,000. This money gathered will be used to reactivate 1,000 counts in the first batch, and also keep them active through 6 months. So when funding comes, all batch one accounts will release $300 each in the Goodwill wallet, uh, amounting to 300,000. $120 will go to pay for all 2,000 batch two members for 6 months, and that's all at the $10 amount. The balance of 180 goes to pay the help team. So there's a help team. They're members that are participating and working to gather these members together. I have not seen a official report of how many people are on here, but The list will be released to me here shortly. In fact, I'm going to reach out today and get kind of like a overview update. And then it goes on through batch 2 and goes on through batch 3. The big part here in red is what we want to make sure everybody understands. Do not wait for your account to expire with the intention of joining the Goodwill program. If your account expires between February 11th and now, you need to keep yourself active. And there are opportunities for that. So SBC 10, it's very, very small. And you have all access to all the education, you have all the rewards that you're going to receive. There's no difference in the payment structure um, for our community. Now, there are members who do SBC full, and those are for sponsors who can encourage their members to participate in that. And the sponsors are working diligently to rally their members and rally the people underneath them. So those sponsors are entitled to collect a little bit of a bounty. On the SBC Lite, that was our intention to. I mean, SBC Lite is technically, I would have to say, not even. It's kind of like a middle tier, and there are members who are utilizing the middle tier, but they don't know about the SBC 10, and that's another education thing. But again, don't wait for your account to expire. If it expires on the 11th of February or later, you don't qualify for the Goodwill. Instead, you can join the help team, and you get $30 for each account that you bring into the Goodwill program. So there's definitely incentive for members who are currently active to be a part of that help team. If your account, so who's qualified for Goodwill? If your account expired since 2016 through February 11th or February 10th, then you can take the Goodwill. If you're a new member and your account has never been paid, you can get into the Goodwill program. The benefit of the Goodwill is candidates pay only $10 once and not every month. The Goodwill program actually takes care of that for you. So take this offer, and you cannot afford take this offer if you can't afford to pay $10 every month. So there are 3 batches to the Goodwill program. Join early to be in the first batch. The Goodwill program currently has, let's take a look. It has already exceeded, like last week, it was almost at $10,000. It's now $11,500. So just in the last week, $1,500 has come into the Goodwill program, and they're well on their way to being very successful. So definitely, like I said, view the video, contact the help team, and the Goodwill will take care of you. So things to note, any member in the second and the third batch desires to be in the first set, they can sell their positions and join us for the training this year. I would honestly say that, the second batch people are going to be significantly behind in our community. So if you're going to be waiting for the next year to be brought in using the Goodwill program in that second batch, you're going to miss out on all the education for this year and your access to the SBC private fund. If you don't do something on your own, is going to keep you, it's going to hold you back. Same thing goes for the third batch. So definitely, this is, as we've been saying, is our ending take home message each week here. The time is now. It really is. We're moving forward, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. But that's a choice. That's not something that we are deciding for you. It's your choice if you want to be left behind. So number 2, if you opt in for the Goodwill offer, you can not be on the help team. You can't be a beneficiary of both at the same time. So if you're on the help team, you're not in the Goodwill program. If you're in the Goodwill program, you're not on the help team. The Goodwill wallet address is here. It's a USDT smart chain address. Single or bulk payments are allowed. Once payment is made, details must be entered in the form. And where to find help, there's a Telegram group. There's the link for the Telegram group for the help team. You have paid prior to the Goodwill, join this group here. So there are two groups. One's the help team, and one is the private group of the Goodwill program where all the updates for what's going on are at. So I just wanted to go over that. I know I haven't touched on this blog. I've referred to it a couple of times. I wanted to remind our members that I am not the one that is managing this. There's a help team, and there is a separate Telegram chat that for that process. And I encourage you to join in and again view and be a part of this program. Just a quick recap from our SBC EDU. This blog is kind of critical to pay attention to. I wrote it last week, and we covered it in our last meeting. So there's the founders meeting from March 19th that you can view that, and it will go over the details of this. And I think that's just about it for the presentation side. We are at about half an hour into our meeting. So I'd like to dedicate the next 15 minutes to any Q&A that members might have. So if there are members that would like to ask some questions, please keep your questions brief and please keep your questions on topic. If it is a technical support issue, if you're having a problem with something, that's not something that we want to do with the Q&A. If we're going to discuss anything, let's discuss concepts and procedures and go from there.
All right. So you want to show lift up your hand so that we can see you and call on you. Okay. Okay.
Getting any activity on the questions? I mean, it's good that we don't have too many questions, especially from a lack of understanding. So I really do appreciate that we are we have 139 members, not 140 right now in the group, and it's good that there is any. But we do have. It looks like we've got a question. Got a couple of them. Let's go ahead and take them.
We have Michael Gatia. Good.
Uh, yes. Good evening, Mbe. Good evening, Admin Scott. Uh, yes, my question is, uh, make it clear who is eligible for Goodwill program, let's say from 2016 to February this year. And is everyone eligible to that, especially those who have been active, either full or light, SBC full or SBC light?
I'm sorry. What was the question? Was there a question there?
Yes, I just wanted to know who is eligible for the Goodwill program of $10. Is it those people who are
Yeah, referencing back to the blog, any member that has gone inactive since February or since before February 10th is eligible. Doesn't matter whether they were SBC full or SBC light or SBC 10. Any member who is new to the community, wants to join the community, can be a part of the Goodwill program. But any member who is an active member current, you can be in the help program as a helper, but you can't participate in the Goodwill program if you are a current and active member at this time. I would definitely get into the chat group there with the help team and even the in the Goodwill program and ask more specific questions there. Because the help team will help guide you as to where where you can bring in expired members or new members, or explain the reasoning behind the exclusions or inclusions.
Okay, thank you. I understood.
Great, thank you.
We have Musa. Musa, unmute. Unmute Musa. No.
Must have stepped away.
Maybe. Musa, are you there?
All right.
Okay, great.
I think if this is who I think it is, I'm in pretty constant contact with him anyway. So let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. I know it was a short meeting, but there's a lot to go over, especially next week. We're gonna start with the educational process. Just a FYI, the first class is going to be super simple. It's just going to be a little bit of history of SBC and an introduction specifically to your educators. So I'm going to give the educators the history that we would like to have covered for SBC, where we're going, where we've been, how we're getting there, and then each one of our educators will introduce themselves and get you guys on the path to progress.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, admin. I think that is it. Guys, you heard that very well. The path to progress. That is something that is interesting and is going to really boost the community to understand exactly what we are doing, where we are going. Of course, a good path to progress. So, admin, are we going to close the meeting by saying the time is now, or you have another thing in mind?
No, that's what we've got for right now. I'm sure next week we'll have a new, because the time will have been then by next week. So the time is now.
Everyone on mute, and we say the time is now.
The time is now.
Time is
Time is
now.
now. Time is now.
Time is now.
Time is
Time is now.